Tandem Leadership is for entrepreneurs and business owners and CEOs who are thinking about or in the midst of trying to figure out how to manage their business better and how to do that with using another person on their team. A lot of times people start off running their businesses, they get so busy, and then they're overwhelmed and they don't really understand how they can do that in a better way. And so over the last 20 years, I've developed this process that allows people to select someone, work with them, set themselves up so that they can be successful.
So let's talk about your background. How did you come to develop this system? Let's talk about how you got here.
Well, I've noticed that a lot of people will go and try to think about all the different things they need to do, and then they start adding one more thing to their list and one more thing to their list and one more thing to their list, and then all of a sudden they're there and they're like, I can't do this anymore. And they find that it's impacting their life, both inside their home and inside their business and at home. And for a lot of people now, the lines between business and home blur so much. With all of the electronic devices, we can hop on our computer anytime, look at our phone. And I think knowing that you have another person that can be your key person and support you in your business will be able to support you and your family.
And was that a role that you played for other people?
I did. I've been a number two in a number of organizations, both in consulting and manufacturing. And I found that when things went really well, we had a very good plan. It doesn't have to be super detailed plan, but we understood what each other's roles were, and we both supported those roles. And by doing that, the operation could run smoother, more quickly, and we could get more done, and we had a better life. And I think that's just my main motivation for that.
And what would you say from the process of writing the book? You talk to people in the process of writing the book. What do you think are the biggest mistakes that CEOs and business owners are making with their chief operating officer or whoever their kind of key right-hand man is? What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people making?
I think in the beginning, the biggest mistake that I've seen is that you hire someone, you're super excited, and then you keep doing things the exact same way. We're all creatures of habits. Our brains get into a pattern, and we're really used to being able to do that. And so when we add this new person to our team, oftentimes we really need to think differently. That's why I really encourage people before they even hire someone, even if they're just a solo entrepreneur, is to start thinking differently about how they do their own work in their business. I used this example recently of somebody is that I still do my own bookkeeping. I enjoy it. It's not that big of a deal. But at some point in the fairly near future, that task really needs to go to somebody else. And so what I tell people is to start building awareness around what they're doing on a daily basis and looking at things and saying, as my character did in the book, is I said, is that something that only you have to do? Is that something somebody else on your current team has to do? Or is that something that you need to be looking at a different resource for? And without that awareness piece, a lot of times it goes, people will just start doing the same thing. So they have this new person and they don't give them any tasks or responsibilities or any autonomy to do what they're supposed to do.
Huge lesson. Bill Danko says, great advice. Way to go, Gina. Shout out to Bill. Sesa says, fantastic information. Jennifer wants to know, how does this balance for organizational success?
I think that it allows more people, so especially in bigger organizations, if it's kind of like parenting in some respects. If you're going to get the same answer from mom and dad, or you're going to get the same answer from the leadership team, then you're not going to be wasting a lot of time pitting people against each other. And it makes it also know that for the rest of the employees in the organization, they know that the ship's being handled. They've got a captain and a co-captain, and that they're going to keep getting steered in the right direction, and everybody can keep doing their jobs and not being worrying about all those different things that seem to come up and bother people sometimes.
Yeah, so powerful. Maggie wants to know why you think it's so hard to delegate.
I think there's as many different reasons as there are people. I think that especially for entrepreneurs, I would say a lot of times their gifts they know they have gifts and talents, but they don't necessarily know how to teach somebody else how to do some of those gifts and talents.
Not my gift or talent.
And so to figure out how to to give away some of those things. And I think that's why it's really important in the beginning to look at the things that really aren't what I call the secret sauce of your business, and use the things that either you don't have an interest to do or they're really not your thing, and give those away to people that probably are really more talented at doing them than you. And then you'll start seeing more space in your life, and that helps free people up. I think the other thing is that a lot of people that are really motivated have control issues, and I don't know anything about that, but no. So, but I think that's one of the things, and you just have to keep exercising that muscle of giving a little bit more away every day, just a little bit, and then you can learn to find where your balance is for you.
So for you, amazing. So many people, so many great questions. Vince, great question. We're not going to be able to get to all of these, but you guys have a lot of what's your advice for delegating? How do you find someone who complements your skill sets? What happens when you hit the limit on the number of balls that you can juggle? All of these are really addressed in various ways in the book.
They are. We talked, the book actually, when I had an issue with writing at the beginning, was I started my book as a traditional business book, and I was struggling, and I worked with my editor, and I said, I just keep seeing I see this vision of this person I'm trying to help. And that's why my book ended up turning into being a story as opposed to being a straight how-to book. And throughout the book, my character, Marcus, he learns to, he's very successful, but he's very overwhelmed. And through the book, with some help, he learns how to do things like identify the things that he needs to take care of, both personally and professionally, and figure out how to find the right person. So all the tools are in the book to be able to do that.
Plus, it is so fun to read because it's a story. It's a really quick read. You can bang this one out in a couple hours and you will really enjoy it, and it sticks with you, I think.
Thanks.
So beautifully told story. You can find that link to Gina Catalano's Tandem Leadership. Go ahead, grab that book, even if you don't have a couple hours to read it tonight, because it is a great airplane. If you have a quick flight, it's a great read on a flight, sort of in the tradition of those short books like Who Moved My Cheese.
Right.
Really very much in that tradition, and I know that you will get a lot of value out of it. Lots of great questions for Gina. Gina, thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations.